Hello everyone and welcome back to more of the 2023 Imperium Cup for Dune Imperium and the Rise of its Expansions. I'm your host and commentator, the BlackShadow, and we're continuing our coverage of the group stages. Taking a look at Group A, which I don't think I have covered yet. It's featuring players from the western US coast, Pacific coast, that sort of thing. Here's a look at Group A's standings. They've been slightly behind on the games at this point. Quite a few of the players here were involved with the event in North Carolina. So 3 matches played, and those shared between 2 players that both feature in today's match as well. Elessar and Commander Toast will be playing this one. I'm joined alongside Sword Cancel and Yourmichael. So Toast has won 2 from 2, and Elessar has won the only match that he has played. This is the first time that these two will be playing against each other. They do play against each other twice in the group stages. Not everyone does. Most people only play each other once, but there are a couple of double-ups. It makes it kind of interesting as far as the table's concerned, because they were both obviously won a top 2 finish. So in theory, the two of them going against each other and getting each other's way may or may not benefit the situation a lot. Zach Shalak currently resides in the second spot there with 9 points on 3 games, so 3 second places, which is not bad at all. But when your early tiebreak is matches won, it means that Elessar, if he can get even second place in this, and Toast gets the win, for example, I think they could both be fairly happy with that. Not many points shared around the rest of the table as well. So the pressure really is on the other two, Michael and Sword, and the rest of the players in this group to make up some distance. Okay then, so Toast finds himself in the first spot, which means it is Elessar to pick first. Interesting that Elessar finds himself on Toast's right-hand side. I wonder if he might make any attempts to try and get in his way, thinking he might need to peg him back with these standings. It'd be interesting to see with those two, and yeah, Michael and Sword, with only 1 point from the first game, have got all the work to do. Look at the opening row here, and there's a lot of cool stuff. Both Face Dancer and its Initiate both start off on the opening Talaxu row here. Very rare to see both of them, so lots of grafting the faction access, which is going to definitely promote that sort of thing. It means people that specialize in faction access may or may not be beneficiaries of that. As far as the opening Talaxu, the Imperium row though, Talaxu Surgeon, possibly one of the best cards potentially in the game if allowed just to do what it wants. Very powerful to get those Talaxu beaters on the opening row. A couple of decent cards as well. Fopter for later on. The other Fopter isn't too bad. Helicopter Joe, as it's known as by some. And the Free Fleet's solid as well. But I wonder if someone might rip that row out of some fear. As for our techs, detonation devices may be of interest to someone. Chow Murky, I think, will get picked up some point. Always nice in the group stages. And the Ultimate Engine as well, which can be worth a lot, but also can be a bit of a trap. As for our leaders, Tezi and Ilban and Hundro, I imagine will get picked in some sort of order. We're leaving probably a Laser or Paul for the second. Let's see. We'll see. So does Elessar go? He does go Tezia. The one match he won, he did win as Tezia Vernius, so it makes sense to, I think, to stick with that. You'd feel pretty happy with that. Sword Cancel's up next. You imagine will be a lot of the time picking Ilban. Probably expecting either Tezia or maybe Baron to his left. Ilban indeed taken. Toast to pick next then. Hundro is kind of viewed as a kind of a meta choice in the first seat. The idea being able to take advantage of that shipping to try and get in the way of the Swordmaster queue. And occasionally you find an entry which can like really let you jump some other queues as well with shipping and such. So generally taken in the first spot where possible. Which means only really Michael that's got a decision to go for here. Poor tradies tend to get picked a lot in second seat. Ariana can be really nice if you've got a load of grafting, and there is a load of grafting out there with the Initiate and Face Dancer. But goes Ariana instead, which I think is definitely the off-beaten pick here. Okay then. Calculated Higher and Cannon Turret's the opening intrigues for Hundro and for Hundro here. Ilban is across from him. If I was going to say, if I would have said if Ilban was to his right, I think I would have taken cannon turrets. And detonation devices is in the game as well. And those early 2 swords can be nice. So he's going to leave Calculated Higher on the row, which I think is not unreasonable. But he might well look to try to take that back. We'll see who picks it up. Anyways, off we go then. Opening skirmish is the spice shipping with the troop here. Hundro only pulls his ring, so has to use that to smuggle, which isn't ideal. Ariano with 1 Diplo will go for the shipping early. Ilban with both diplomacies and a signet ring will almost certainly go Wealth Mentat, I would imagine. Which is what we see. Tesia Vernius has one of her faction cards, but not both. So Steel Suits looks pretty good here, I would argue. This isn't a great combat to Hardy Warriors, I don't think. I think Steel Suits probably looks a lot better. Opens up for secrets, so specifically want to get hold of what Hundro decided to put away. So Elessar, definitely, his curiosity was raised by Hundro's indecision of like what to put back, which is definitely interesting. But grabs the calculated higher, which isn't great because Ilbon's to his right, so that is that's an interesting decision from Elessar there. Hundro's going to stay out of this. He could have gone Carfag, but he is not able to, so who knows what the intrigue's going to be now. Elessar's just going to sit back and wait. Oh, Toast is going to sit back and wait. Which means Ariana's going to get a piece of Carfag, I would imagine, and throw some troops in. I imagine we'll probably take this down. Finds Expedite. Wow. That's pretty wild. That is really good for Ariana as well. She's going to want to put in... I think you got to put in at least a couple of troops here. I think one is a bit negative. I'd want to put in at least a couple. I'd put in all three. You know, you're going to get access to early shipping. You would imagine. And you got Expedite. I would be going all in here. Put them in. Put people to task. Looking at the techs up here. Thinking about, like, maybe grabbing some of that early. The problem is that she has got a signet ring coming. So she will be able to ship here. So I might have to think about it, but I would be putting, yeah, at least two, if not all three. Although the problem is when you take this long, it makes you kind of wonder what's going on, but it's just going to limp in for the one spice. I would like to have seen a bit more aggression. That's just me. Ilbon, you'd imagine probably Gerst just goes Mentat here, but he's interested in picking up Steel Suits ahead of Tesia Vernius here. Wondering if Tesia's got double Diplo with the kind of unusual move to secrets first up, which you don't see a lot. I assume that was influenced by Hundro's decision, but normally I try to not take intrigues when other people have seen them. Because it's likely to be of lesser quality overall, and also you'd rather have stuff that people don't know. Anyone also doesn't have to go Mentat here, but opts to do so. I think it's not unreasonable. So Tesia is going to have first crack of deciding what to do here. No faction access. Hundro's used his signet ring for the initial shipping, so it's a bit awkward for him. I don't know as Hundro, like in first action, like do you go smuggling with signet ring? Or do you just go mining and just get it that way and try and like upset it a little bit? I actually don't know. I legit don't know the answer to that question. Tesia's just going to use experimentation, which I like. I think basing and putting in a couple of troops looks pretty good. So she's considering taking this route because she's got calculated higher. That's the consideration. Wants to get hold of more spice specifically to pay for that, I imagine. So I don't hate that. I think I would have preferred Imperial base and keep the water, but that's just me. Ariana's in the game as well. Hundro reveals for 5. Takes the Talaxu Surgeon. I think should probably take Freighter Fleet as well, as he's the shipping dude. That would give him extra finance for his ring. But we'll see. Doesn't have to take Freighter Fleet, but I think he will, and I think he should. No specimens, so no access to any of the face dancers. Players up there as well. It's out of the price range of Ariana. Ariana with 4. I imagine just goes Smuggler's Fopter because she's going to get access to shipping immediately. So it's a great card for her, I think, Smuggler's Fopter. I would look to take that, I think, most of the time. Ilban's got 6. He's got his Seek Allies. Steel Suits is still sitting there. He might opt to go Hardy Warriors, perhaps. Goes for the face dancer, so Ariana going for the faction drafting. Gola turns up in the row. Yep, Steel Suit is. I think Steel Suits and will limp... I don't know, do you limp 2? Do you limp 1? You kind of have to limp 2 here, I think. Yeah, I think you got to limp 2. Make sure you get ahead of Ariana. There's no point putting in 1, you're going to get nothing, so... Tesia will take the shipping, though, for a couple, which isn't bad. She's going to be surprised when she sees this as well. She's thinking she's getting the spice here. Free to buy. Tesia could gamble. Goes for Guild Admin, which is less popular, but is after the faction access, is what Tesia's doing here. Which makes sense to enable the snoopers. And the other one's going to reveal for 6. Paita looks a pretty good early choice. Carriol could also be interesting. He's got the water. Fopter's also not bad as well. Carriol, of course, doubles the base a harvest. So in theory, Ilban could go to Great Fight and get 6+, and he's definitely considering it. It's a little riskier than Paita. I think I'd probably still take Paita overall, but I think it's worth considering. Cariol's popularity has gone down significantly, unfortunately, in Immortality. So nothing to be resolved here. Combat will be resolved as is. Ariana gets her 1 spice. Ilban gets a couple. And Tezia, perhaps surprisingly, actually gets the win here. Ilban did not pull any daggers. But Tezia is definitely going to be interesting. I think what Tezia's doing as well is maybe Tezia's trying to think of a way. She was expecting to get the spice, maybe looking to go selective breeding with Seek allies. And then use Calculated Hire to take the mentat away from Ilban. But it's turned out that she ended up winning the conflict, which was kind of surprising. So this should be interesting here. So, of course, Ilban's got a weird hand. Drew Pyre immediately. Ariana would just ship. Next conflict is Arrakis, so points and money involved. Everyone's going to want a piece of this. So does Ilban... Ilban's got to go smuggling here, right? He's got to block this. Which is what he does. So Tezia's got a choice as to whether she wants to use Calculated Hire this round or not. I don't know. I think we might see Imperial Basin and Calculated Hire with intentions of going selective breeding. I think that's what we're going to see Tezia do, and I like the move. You could also... I think doing the experimentation is fine. You kind of want to use your Signet Ring, obviously, to shift across. You could do it either way, but I think that's the move I would do. Imperial Basin, limp a troop in, and then take Calculated Hire with selective breeding intentions. Because you're kind of forcing Ilban... Well, Ilban's unlikely to have any faction access here. He's used both of them, so... Limping both, I think, is also fine. But I would be using Calculated Hire here. Personally. And look to selective breed. Ooh, he's gonna hold on to it for later. I guess Tezia's happy just to conspire. Tezia's after 2nd place here, I think. Conspire, Swordmaster, and the Arrakis stuff to get hold of the money that way and save the shipping. We'll see. Hundro opts just to go Steel Suits instead of Hardy Warriors. He hasn't decided yet. He's got 2 swords in his back pocket. He knows Ilban's going to be loaded for combat. Hundro just hits wealth. Indecision here. I think Steel Suits is slightly better. Keeping that away from Tezia. Putting in the 2. Shipping for Ariana, of course. So, the question is, what does Ilban do? Does Ilban mentat? I actually wouldn't mind seeing him mentat with Paita in a weird way and get those intrigues going. Keep your 2 daggers. I kind of almost like to see that. I don't think he will. The problem is Ilban's got to think, how is he actually going to end up scoring his... yeah, he decides not to mentat. He's got some... just going to limp in here. So he wants to obviously pick up some money and then either shipping or conspiring and just wants to guarantee getting hold of Swordmaster next up here. That's the intention. Wants to beat the race. I don't hate that. Plenty of spice to grab at Great Flat. There's 3 people with 2 water. If he doesn't get it now, he's never going to get it. So Tezia does just conspire as expected. Looking for 2nd place. Finds Charisma. That's a nice find early. So, Ilban is not... Well, this is all going to get... Is everyone going to be tied at 5 combat strength? They actually are at the moment, which is kind of wild. Everyone is at the same, unless Hundro would use cannon turrets, which I think he would, because A, it'd give him the point, and B, it would lessen Tezia and Ilban's rewards. Which I think would be pretty significant, so... Hundro, though, has either got to go Hardy Warriors or Haga Basin, and he is going to go Haga Basin and limp the 3rd troop in. So saving Seek allies for a rotation. I don't hate that ever. Like, sometimes I think it's fine. He's got to limp this troop in, right? Surely he's got to put this in. He doesn't! Oh my gosh. Wow. That's pretty wild. So, Hundro's going to get a ton of value out of cannon turrets here. Ariana for 2. Takes a liaison. Ilban has 3 and 3 swords. So, temporarily takes the lead. I wonder if he rips the row as a gamble. Space travel's there, but I don't think it's great for him. He might gamble and rip it. Because guild admin's there. No, just looks for a liaison. Tezia's in the same boat here. Well, Tezia has charisma, so she can get up to 5. Does she guild admin with charisma? It's a consideration. It's not a great row outside of it. I don't hate the move. And I think it's what we're going to see here. It's more faction access. It's a way of, like, hitting factions and putting pressure on. And it keeps away from other people as well. I think we will see charisma for guild admin. Yep, looks like that's what's going to be the case. Yep, so he's going to go for it here. So Tezzy's going to go very aggressive on the factions here. It peels off Jamis, which Hundo actually can't afford, which is kind of wild. Maybe he's wishing he used his Seek Allies now, but too late. So everyone's going to be tied at 5 here. Surely Hundro will be using cannon turrets, which is going to be a big result for Ilban, because otherwise Tessia Vernius would have jumped him for Swordmaster here. So Elessar's going to be slightly unlucky here. And there's no reason not to use cannon turrets here. Like, it's just a victory point. The money's less good for you compared to everyone else at the moment. Like, victory points are victory points. Arrakis as well. Like, it's going to see some traction. So Elessar will pass. They're trying to work out what the current result is on the track here. So, as it stands, they would all get second place. But if Hundro plays, then he would get the points, and then the other two would only get third place on Arrakis. So, that's exactly what happens. So, a little bit of a result here for Ilban. He's going to get himself out of a bit of trouble, but he needs to draw the right access, though. There are worlds here. Oh, no, he's going to be fine. He's going to have to go Conspire, though. He's not going to be able to go shipping, because he'll need his ring for his Swordmaster, so he has to go Conspiring. Okay, so next round, round 3 is Guild Bank Raid. Bit of fun with a draw there. So, Ilban's up here. Oh, what is Ilban doing? Wow. Ilban sacks off his Swordmaster to get hold of Holtzman? This cannot be right. Because you're paying for Dreadnought. It triggers your passive. Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I know Holtzman in theory is pretty good for Ilban, and it's round 3, but I personally don't like that. Now what the table needs to do is jump on Ilban here, and just never allow him Mentat. And make him pay. That is a brave call. Conspire Swordmaster is just straightforward action economy. You're first in. Now you're back at the queue here. I've got to admit, I'm not a fan of this move. I am not a fan of this move. I think this is really, really dangerous. And if the table wants to get in your way, like, you're going to have a pretty miserable time with this. So, Cruciate's going to play out here. Tessia just smuggles for Swordmaster. Hundro probably has to use Talaxu Surgeon now to wealth, and does. He might go Hardy Warriors here. Curious what happens. He obviously wants to get his money ready and sorted. Ariana will ship. Does Ariana want any techs, is the question. I don't think so, because she would... I don't know what Ariana's good at. Don't think Ariana goes for any techs right now. She needs to get money together. I would probably just experiment, and then maybe, like, research station or something? I don't know. But yeah, that's a big decision from Sword to go for Holtzman. It is definitely risky. Okay, so Ariana's going to go Carthag first, which I don't hate. I guess this is fine. You don't think that your shipping's in any danger here, which it isn't. Tessia... Ariana finds Blackmail, which is pretty nice. I think 2 troops is probably okay, but Ilban's got a Dreadnought now, so... I don't know, it's kind of weird, this. Wow. I don't know. Sword might regret his choice there, but we'll see how it plays out. But definitely a very dangerous going for Holtzman right away. Like, there's a potential value, but dangerous, dangerous stuff. So, Steel Suits, get the Dreadnought in, pretty obvious. Tessia will get Guild Chief Admin to get Swordmaster, and also, I assume, take the bump. So this will trigger Tessia's first snooper. She can discard a card for a Spice. I imagine she'll discard... I think I'd give it a convincing, truthfully. You don't have to buy anything here. She's got eyes on Jamis, but the problem is, I don't know if she's going to ever see Jamis. Discards experimentation. I don't like that. I think convincing's the right move, yeah. You got to get the specimens, keeping them going. I think that's the only correct way to proceed here. Does she go calculated? She's considering taking the Mentat here, but I don't think it's any specific danger. You might see Imperial Basin and a Fold Space hit here. She might opt to just do it straight away just to get action economy going, but we'll see. Usually people like to, well, I don't know, kind of a variety of uses. Bear in mind as well, Calculated High can also be used even when you're meant to reveal. You can just play Calculated and take another agent action. I've done that before in matches. So, Hundro is up. Is Hundro eyeing up some money? Does he want to go selective breeding, start trashing daggers, but getting some decent buys? No one has used their atomics yet. We're round 3 and no one's touched it. So, potential gambling still to come. Hundro might feel there might be an atomics or 2 ahead of him. He might also just go Fold Space and try and get that prepped up for future rounds. Although I don't know if how he's gonna get that ready in time. He's got Vicious Talents, only a couple of swords at the moment. He does go Hardy Warriors. Ooh, he really wants the money. I don't know if this is the battle to Hardy Warriors. I don't know. I don't hate it. I mean, you want to keep Ilban as little money as possible because he chose to ignore Swordmaster, but we'll see. Ariana, I don't expect will ship. She'd have to forsake money to do so. She can't do that now. Yeah. Well, she's just jammed. So interesting spot here for Ariana. Ariana is the only person that can stop Tessia Vernis getting a hold of the guild chief admin. I think she has to just go for it and race Tessia to the top. Worst comes to worst, if she beats you to it, you have blackmail. So that makes it a little bit easier. So I think this is the correct way to play this. I think you've just got to go for it. If you get beat, you get beat to it. You know, that's the way it goes. You've got 5 swords out of it. Ilban reveals for 6. Does he go for... No, he just takes the specimens, grabbing an intrigue. Gruesome Sacrifice is found. That'll be good for later on. Is he going to rip the row? I think so. Gamble time for sword. 6 persuasion. Well. It's a decent row as well. Some other good cards. Boundless, Fremenkamp, Truthsayer. But Ilban, surely he's taken Talaxu Master now. He's grabbed Holtzman. He's thinking about faction access, but the ring's not really that valuable to him here at this point. He should take TM. It's the situation we've got ourselves in. You've bought Holtzman. Like, you just want to see Taxamaster as much as you can. And wow! And back-to-back TMs. Oh my goodness me. Wow. Well, Tessia is going to be an interesting situation here. She's going Fold Space. She's going to race for this. So, what does Tessia Vernius do? Does she rip the row? Doesn't worry about it. Hundro has 4. Does Hundro rip the row? They're going to be concerned here of that second TM, but 1 is already out, I guess. I think Truthsayer looks good and does go for it. Yep, rips the row out of fear. Doesn't want 2 of them out. That's a great result for Ilban. Now he knows there's only ever 1 TM in this game, and he's got it, so that's a huge advantage for him. Ariana with the dagger. 3 persuasion only. A couple of half-decent cards out there. I don't mind Initiate, but you've got your ring for that. You've already bought 1 Liaison. I don't really like buying 2. I think Initiate's fine. I think Initiate's fine here. It does go for it. Weirding Way turns up. So does Tessia, like, Calculated Higher ever here? I don't think there's a reason to do it right now. Might grab it this coming round, though. I expect we might see it. So this could get wild here. Nothing to do. So, and there's nothing to resolve combat-wise. No one's playing anything here. Surely Ariana's never using blackmail here. So, Ilban with 2 coins. Hundro will win it. She's not in the conflict. I don't know who you're looking at. Nothing to be played here. So, money as is. But yeah, I don't know. Like, Ilban is just... The table's gotta, like, take Mentat away from Ilban and, like, really put pressure on him. Letting him have multiple card draws with TM now as well, it's just ridiculous. They've gotta limit him. He's got no spice as well. So keep him... He can't get to, like, selective breeding. I think that's the way to proceed here. Ilban again pulls both daggers and pirate at the same time. Tezia's up here. Tezia's only access is Signet Ring to shipping. So, don't know if she's going to bother shifting away here at any point. We'll see what she does. Do you go for Tex? Do you take the spice and go Chow Murky? I don't hate going Chow Murky here. I quite like that as Tezia. You can find a lot of fun intrigues. Also, just Chow Murky in the back pocket's going to feel good for later on. You know, knowing you win all end games. Ilban might go Detonation Burst as done. She goes Spice here. So it's going to take that. I think she's going... Looks like Chow Murky's going to be the take here. And it is. I think this is a nice move. Get those intrigues going. And we might see Councled. Oh, no! Absolute gin. I think if I'm Tezia, I'm playing Councled Empire right now. You've got your faction, your Diplo, and you've got Initiate. You want to play both those cards and hit factions and just jam them. It's Councled Empire right now for me. Considering shifting away here, I think she's going to look to try and get the Steel Suits, but I expect Councled Empire should get played here. I think that I would like to see that. It's round 4. This is the only time you act before Ilban. Beyond that, you've no guarantee if you're ever going to see Mentat. Ooh, I would have liked to have seen him play at that right now. Not going to lie. So Hondro's going to be able to get hold of Smuggling, but opts not to. Has to go Swordmaster. I mean, you could have gone Smuggling for your shipping. But I wouldn't have hated that. So does Ariana block Mentat? Looks like she's not going to bother. She's just going to take Smuggling here. So Ilban's going to get... So that's one round where Ilban should not have had Mentat, and he's going to get away with it here. Man. I do think Ariana should Mentat, because she can just graph Fopter to Face Dance and just draw a load of cards. You don't have to play that to Smuggling. And there's no, like, Highliner access. Tezia, I cannot believe Tezia pulled Guild Authorization. That is absolutely disgusting. So, just gonna smuggle. I know. It doesn't feel like the greatest of moves, personally. But that's just me. Just feels a little bit kind of passive here. So Ilban gets Mentat, and he's going to go Mentat every single time this game. This is the problem. When is Tezia Vernis ever going to get Calculated Higher off here? I think this was a mistake. Should have just played it. But never mind. So, yep, just jams Fold Space. Yep, not a surprise. So, Alliance is safe now. Absolute crazy she pulled it immediately. So, you know... So that's... And Tezia's just going to be able to shift away with her ring as well. This is... what an absolute draw that Tezia Vernis got. And gruesome. Insane. Hunjo's got both of his experimentations. I don't hate a Still Suits move here. I don't hate it. I think Still Suits is fine. It's an alliance that you're challenging for. You don't have any water... It's an obvious place for Tezia to go with her last action if she can get there. I would like to see Still Suits preferably. It also gives you more options on experimentations. You wouldn't think both Basin and Hager Basin are going, but who knows? If they do, you know, that's the way it is. Imperial Basin is also just okay, and then you just hit like Wealth or Secrets or even Selective Breeding. That's just where you see it. I think both routes are alright. Tezia found freaking guild authorization with the guild administrator. Can you absolutely believe that? And she's matched the track in less than 4 rounds. That is absolutely absurd. So does go Steel Suits first. Slightly riskier, I guess, but I don't hate this move. I think it's fine. The other route might be better. But that's not to suggest that this is bad. Toast finds himself in a weird spot here. Knowing that Tessie is going to basically have loads of... I mean, the thing is, you've got to keep Tessie away from water as well. Given the fact that she is going to be going very... She needs spice to pay for guild administrator. You've got to keep her away from water as well. So I think this is a tactical choice. I think serves several purposes. Tessie needs water so she can get spice and pay for guild admin. So if you can restrict that from her, then that's going to be pretty significant. Now, Tessie is going to pick up some water here in Trade Monopoly, you would imagine, but that's the way it goes. Ariana with one action is not playing Face Dancer. Because she wants to go secrets. Interesting. Well, Dispatch and Envoy is found, so there's faction access absolutely everywhere. She pulls a Diplo, which isn't really the card she wanted, but Dispatch kind of helps it. So, off to Imperial Basin. Keep that away from Tessia. Limp the Dreadnought in. I'd like to see him bump up to Trash the Dagger, personally. But he's thinking of bumping down because he feels he's got a race for the Talaxu Spice. But I think the Trash is more important here. Especially when you've got Holtzman. You want to try and find Talaxu Master. There's no reason not to trash the Dagger you've already played. So Tessie with Diplo. But the only legal space that can go is Wealth. So Tessie can either go Wealth or she goes Carfag. And I think she has to go Carfag because she's got Gruesome and also wants some of these rewards in combat. Much as she wants to use Diplo, like, I think you're fine. Your faction actually could be pretty good this game. I think you can afford not to play Diplo here. I think it's okay. So, Carfag it is. Put in 3. See where you end up. Probably Gruesome 2 of them. Hello. Man, Tessia right now pulling some good intrigues. It's a good time to be Tessia Vernius, this. My goodness. So, Hundro can go Haga Basin. He's also eyeing up Wind Traps here. And Wind Traps looks like he's going to go ahead and take. I think I would have preferred to use an experimentation, not going to lie. You have the chance to put pressure on the Talaxu, but doesn't opt to. Ariana reveals for 7. We'll take Imperium Ceremony, I imagine. Yep, does indeed. Pretty decent card. The access is right. Free Persuasion as well is, pretty decent. Ilban has kind of a free move. I think he would just go Wealth or... He's going to go Selective. So, yeah, here we go. He's already, the quest to find Talaxu Master as much as possible begins. And there we go. It has begun. So, you'd feel early on, Tessia and Ilban have got pretty significant advantages in this game. Tessia has pulled really well, secured the Spacing Alliance. There's never going to be any danger here. And Ilban is beginning to Talaxu Master Train. Has already got 10 Persuasions. The Spice Plus foes are coming. It's going to be up to Toast and Ariana to make up the distance here. It's going to be difficult, I think. Neither of them really have any significant advantages in this game. So I think this could be real problems. Ilban's picking up rewards fairly cheaply too. So I suspect Elessar and Sword Cancel are going to be dominating this game. But we'll see. 3 for Hundro. No Atomics. Winning Way could be interesting. I don't hate Weirding Way. Yeah, it does opt for it. Can give you some unorthodox solutions to problems. And be honest, you're going to be in some problems here. So Ilban with the research. With the Talaxu Master. Yeah, this is very problematic here. This is real bad news for the rest of the table. Ilban's just going to do Ilban things. He's going to buy Spice, you'd imagine, most rounds now. So Tessia Vernius was expecting to use Gruesome here, but I'm not sure she can do now. I think she has to just take the win. Letting Ilbarn have this victory seems absurd. If it was anyone else, I'd consider it. But I think Ilbarn specifically, she's considering using Gruesome and Ambush, but ends up passing. Yeah, I think that's the only correct move here. You just got to take it and cash it in later. Ilbarn now finding Bene Gesserit bumps. My gosh, this is getting a little ridiculous. Now we're going to move on here. Move ever so slightly to the right here. You guys can see slightly better. So round 5 is Machinations. My god. Ariana. I think Ariana is highlining here. I think Ariana is eyeing up Great Flat Highliner. She could also just expedite and cash in as well. Might go Great Flat Hardy or something. Hager Basin Hardy. There's a lot of spice out there. Hundro's eyeing it up. Hundro's got Freighter Fleet in hand. He doesn't have to ship right now. He's only got access to smuggling. But obviously that's only on reveal. He's redrawn Weirding Way. Experimentation is there. He's got his dagger, so he might, like, smuggle Mentat? You see that sometimes in Weirding Way. People will use Weirding Way as a way to get to grab Mentat right away. A variety of options for Hundro. It's not really a combat Hundro can expect to win here, unless he... I don't know. I think going mining here and taking spice is better. Yeah, and he does agree. So he's off to Hager Basin. I like the move. Puts pressure further down the track. And then Mentat. Yep, take it away. Yep, I think that's the right way to play it. Hello, Signet Ring. It's Hundro after Tex. Training Drones looks alright. Maybe even Flagship once on the Blue Moon. Training Drones is going to be taken by Ariana here, which I think is reasonable. You got to take all the rest of your stuff. Troops, bump. Yeah, Ariana's not done with her action yet. Troops has a bump. Just didn't take any. I was like, Training Drones is good. Ariana can't bump spacing. It just doesn't make any sense, so... Ariana as well has Expedite. She's going to keep hold of that probably for next round here. Ilbarn finds Piter again. Yeah, research station. And Ilbarn is just saying, I'm just going to look to buy a Spiceless Flow every single round. And that is pretty clear. He also wants to get in this track so TM just starts drawing cards. That's the only thing he's after here, is just to buy as many cards as possible. I expect we'll see Ilbarn go Selective Breeding here as well. I thoroughly expect we'll see that. And he's going to start trashing Spiceless Flows and rebuying them. Yeah, this is a pretty disgusting setup for Ilbarn. Talaxin Master and Piter turning up as it did is gross. Tessia has to go. Steel Suits yet needs to go on here. So 2 water claimed. Troops start going in. Tessia is a real problem as well. She can't do anything to stop Ilbarn. Like, Ilbarn's just... He's off to the races and, like, he's largely not going to be able to be stopped here. He's going to accumulate his points. Yeah, this is just really, really bad news for the table, this. Real problems. Hundro has smuggling. Hundro could smuggle with his Signet Ring and get hold of flagships. And I don't hate it. Detonations is there, but he doesn't have the money for it. You could argue he doesn't have the money for flagships, but it is just a point. Spacebolt's also there. He could smuggle to do it. He also kind of wants to get involved in this conflict. It's never one he's going to win here. There's no faction access. I think we might see a smuggle up with experimentation, I suspect. Flagship's not in any imminent danger, so I think smuggling up is good and targeting flagships. Flagship's just a point. And you'll probably be able to offload some troops into a combat late, which is going to be important. I think you're in a situation where you need unorthodox solutions. The side's against it. Not the biggest fan of that. I think I would have liked to have tried to get it. Like, you had a real opportunity to grab it there and then. The side's against it. Just going to go for more shipping and try and compete factions. It's really difficult, though, because Ted's got so much faction stuff going on. Yeah, this is just real problems here. Swordmaster. Hardy warriors being threatened here, I suspect, is what you'll see. With even blackmailing if she has to. Ilban will just go Secrets or Wealth. He gets his Swordmaster is on its way. He's got Spiceman's Flow. Yeah, this is problems. Tezzy will just grab Great Flat Spice here. Yep. Seems fine. Do you trash your dagger out of your hand? I don't know. You feel like you kind of want to retain it, but if Ariana really wants to beat... The problem is you've got your ambush, though. Does opt to go for it. I wouldn't have hated holding on to it, but it's fine, I think. So, what's Huntro's plan here? He's going to Carthag, and he's going to just kind of see what he finds. The problem is, you could go tech negotiation for flagship now, but then you can't spend your spice, so... Rapid mobilization is found. I bet he kind of wishes he'd taken flagship now. I don't think he'll put them in here. Though he has definite value for picking up this water, though. But you know Ariana's going in, like, for sure, so I don't hate sitting back here. Here comes Hardy Warriors. She's got Blackmailers back up. All 5 are going in here, I'm very sure, and she will take this down. And she won't even have to use blackmail for it, so... So, the battling back is coming. You got to put in all 5. You got loads of garrison. You can afford to put in 5 here. Have 4 in back is totally good. There's no issues there whatsoever. Ariane needs to resolve the rest of her card here if she's going to. I don't know if she's drawing for that or not. Being polite here, so Ilban's just racing along with Tattoo Master, as you do. Spiceman's Flow, picking up the spice. Yeah, this is... Unfortunately, Sword Cancel is just on autoplay here, basically. He is just on autoplay. And he finds Water of Life as well. Oh my god. This is pretty disgusting. This is pretty disgusting. I don't think Tessie Avernus is going to be able to keep up with this. Tessie Avernus is going to feel her hands going to start getting forced here. And he's going to be pushed to make decisions I don't think Elessar wants to make, because he feels the Sword Council is just going to race to this game, and the odds are he probably is. Does she get the troop in? No. Gruesome sacrifice is coming here. I think that's the right way to play this. So Hunter's going to reveal for the 1 and the bump and call it a day. Ariana's going to reveal for 3... Don't think she's gonna buy anything. I mean, she might have a Dickers with a row hit. You know, Ilban's already revealed, and Tessie's got 1 card. I don't hate ripping the row here. I mean, you've got it as a resource. You know, you can find some right stuff, and if it's anything you can buy, then you know, there's nothing that's gonna come up that you can't buy that Tessia can. And in theory, you're first to reveal next time as well. Yeah, opts not to. Just grabs a second liaison, which, I don't know. When you haven't trashed your daggers, I'm a bit nervous about taking liaisons. Yeah. Just doesn't buy anything. Tezzy would too. Does have her atomics. She will probably grab a liaison. Yeah, that's fine. So, Ariana's going to win it. I'm curious to see where she's going to... Well, she's going to bump Bene Gesserit for sure. And she might just take the bump with the Emperor, I suspect, would be my assumption. Nothing else to be resolved here. Here comes the gruesome. So, Ilwan doesn't even have to find any money for his sword master. He's just going to get hold of it. Finds Harvest Cells as well, does Tezia. Can't use that right now. Have to use later on here. So, nothing else to do. Ilban's in a weird spot here. His gruesome sacrifice, he's got it, but it's like he doesn't really have any particular use for it because he's already at the end of the track. So, he's going to probably start converting. He might go Gola, maybe. We'll see what happens. He's not really got any good Agrarian actions, however, so he'd need something to pair with Gola. We do see the bumps as expected. So, moving on then. Round 6. Cloak and Dagger is up. The wild bumps, not bad, but at any stretch, but is a perhaps potential limited use. Ilban racing away with this. Ariana's up first. She will obviously ship. Ilban can do kind of whatever he wants here. Might see Imperial Basin, I would expect. Draw another card. I don't hate that. Imperial Basin. There's no way that he can grab Mentat here. Unless he's willing to sack off Swordmaster. He's going to Water of Life and try and get lucky here. Yeah, and they're like, what is going on? And the answer is, I know, it's absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's Spice Whistle every round, and there's just like, you know, what you going to do? So, Ilban could opt to go Mentat and just sack off Swordmaster. If he doesn't go Mentat, he doesn't see it. He's also considering playing Talaxian Master. Bear in mind, so Talaxian Master can be played to acquire a card of 6 cost or less into your hand. So he's considering playing TM here to grab, like, power play. And then, like, basically triple bump Bene Gesserit or something. Definitely considering it. You don't have to reveal TM, and I think when you got Water of Life, like, there's not really anything left to draw. So, at this situation, like, buying, like, power play, I think is totally fine. You've got 9 Persuasion in hand. You're going to be drawing more cards. So, just going to keep trashing Spice Must Flow cards and just rebuying them. Rinse and repeat. Well, Ilban is now resourceless, though. He's drawn every card in his deck, though, is the problem. So now he's not going to get any more benefit out of his Ruthless Negotiator. That's the only issue with this move. Oh, what he's going to do, he's going to pay for it with Talaxu Master and use power and get it to draw it immediately is what I think he's going to look to do here. So Tezia will smuggle one ship. She will almost certainly use Calculated Hire here. It's about the only other chance she's ever going to get to play it. I think she has to use it here. But it's a bit awkward, though, because her hand's not great for this. And Selective Reading's already gone, so... We'll see what the plan is. Is Tezia just never going to play Calculated Hire? Wow. Looks like it. Okay. Thinking about it, decides against it. Okay. So Hunter's up. Talaxu Surgeon, Truthsayer, Diplo. All cards you want to be using here for sure. I wonder if Hundro might consider potential conspiring. Given he's got rapid mobilization. There's extra value. Cloak and Dagger's not a bad conflict for him here. Obviously, bear in mind, if he ever wins a conflict, he gets water back, so it does encourage Hundro getting involved in here. He's also considering Hardy Warriors and just throwing in 4, which I also don't hate. You'd think you're going to get to at least Wealth or even possibly Conspire. And Conspire's not bad. It gives you high council access. You probably never see flagships. To be fair, Tessie Vernis is threatening flagships like right now, so... And if she wants to get it, she can get it. You can't stop her getting it at this point. So I think if that's just the way it's going to be, it's the way it's going to be here. So I think Hardy Warriors is totally fine. Yep. I think this is totally reasonable. Ariana's got a pretty... Wow. Hundro just pumps it at Highliner. The only issue for Tessie, though, if she grabs flagship, she won't be able to pay for Guild Ambassador. So, Mentat taken by Ariana. I assume Ilban is playing TM, is going to draw in the power play here. What? 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 Is he got 18? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 13. He's going for the double Spice was flow by. It's the only reason it gets in at 18. Absolutely cooked this. Absolutely cooked. Tessie's got to realise, she's got to think that this is, it's just, she's playing for second place now. And it's a sad reality, but it's true. This is absolutely cooked, this. A ridiculous, ridiculous hand. So Tessie Avernus has got to make decisions she's got to decide very carefully now what she does. Ilban's going to almost certainly win this game by the looks of it. Absolutely racing ahead. Tessie's going to fight for the Bene Gesserit, for the Fremen here. Wow. I don't know why Hundro felt the need to put in so many for this, but maybe he feels now if he takes the butt, it's going Fremen here. Well, you've got Surgeon and you've got Truthsayer. I would be Truthsaying Secrets, I think, first. I don't think Wealth is in any particular danger. Opts to Research Station first, which is definitely a potential move that Tessie was looking to go for as well, so I don't hate that. But yeah, players are just gonna, like, it is now a sprint, basically. Does Hundro think that he can get to the final... I think Hundro's probably got to go up and trash. I mean, I don't hate going down and taking the specimen. I think Eva's fine. Well, he's going to get some spice back. My God. This is just a completely wild match, this, now, at this point. Wild, wild stuff, this. Puts in a 7th troop. What is going on here? What are you so terrified about? Absolutely, he's frightened of Ariana Hardy Warrioring. That's what he's worried about. And with trained runes, I guess I can understand. He's kind of telling that he's not really got much strength, fear, and intrigues, though, which Ariana might pick up on. I think Ariana's just going to go Imperial Basin here. Nope. Is she going to go Secrets and fight for this alliance? At the Bene Gesserit. Is she sending this to Hardy Warriors? No, Secrets it is. I think this is a better move. Guess the research as well. She can bump down and get hold of another intrigue. Poison Snooper is found. Bear in mind as well, Expedite is still on the way here. Hundro maybe has good reason to be scared, as it turns out. Poison Snooper can't be used currently at the moment, by the way. but can't be infiltrated, so 2 Spice-Must flows for Ilban. Tessie Vernies has got a signet ring. I don't know where she's going to put this, but after witnessing what's going on here, must be pretty concerned. Like, this game is nearly over. Like, it is nearly over in 6, which is absurd. Absolutely ludicrous stuff, this. So Tessia, I think, might just go Carfag and gamble at this point. Tessia knows the game isn't ending this round. But she knows it's over next round. So this is just a fight for second place now. Truth be told, what Sword Council does at this point isn't particularly... I want to say it's not relevant, but it doesn't feel like it matters too much here. The only problem it causes a real problem for, though, is Ariana. Ariana wanted a piece of the Bene Gesserit Alliance, and Ilban's going to beat her to it. I don't see how she's going to catch here. Well, she's got Expedite coming, so she might use that to get in front here, so she might get lucky. Tessia Vernis with choices. She's eyeing up Siege, but the water doesn't feel too great. The other concern is she's concerned of going Carfag and getting Secret stolen. Just going to take some spice here. The problem is you've got, she's got Chow Murky, so the spice isn't even that relevant for tiebreakers. But is keeping the door open for highlining next round. I think that's what she's considering, is planning here. Is highliners coming up here. This way she can pay guild admin. It's worth 3. Bene Gesserit point taken. It's a double bump. But it's not going to win this conflict. So Ariana, I imagine, is going to feel forced to expedite this just to get in front of the Bene Gesserit bump. I imagine that's what we'll see here. Also gets her intrigue set down to 3 as well, something she's also considering. Blackmail should probably be kept for next round. 10 Persuasion. So, could face Dancer with the Signet Ring to get more water, or he could just use Diplo. I think either's fine. Hunter's still got an action to go here. He was hoping to find a way to the Bene Gesserit here, but it has not happened. He's got to feel he's probably going to win the conflict here. Do you just go Wealth and make a push for the Emperor Alliance? What else have you got here? You've no resources. No access to cities either. It's Hagar Basin or Wealth or Tech Negotiation. He's got 6 Persuasion, which isn't great. If you use Truth Say, you don't have to use the discard and draw. You're not obliged to. You can just not use it. It is optional. No Atomics makes Tech Negotiation feel worse, but he's just going to go and do that. I think I would much prefer Hit Wealth here. Just give yourself some chances. I think Dagger is the last thing I'd want to use here, truthfully. I don't particularly like this move. The only thing this offers up is, like, Spaceport. Maybe. But I don't like this move, truthfully. I would much prefer just to go Wealth and just hit a faction. And try and get your nose in front. Give yourself chances later down the line to score some points. Ariana might just opt to go Carfag here. But I would like to see Ariana Hardy Warriors with Diplo. And use expertise. You don't have to necessarily put it all in, but I think you've got to get this Fremen bump now. You know the next round's going to be last. And if you can get the Fremen point now, it takes the pressure off later. Ooh, this is dangerous. It's a Carfag gamble. I don't think I like this. I would much rather hit the faction. Well, she finds Call the Market, which is worthless. At least she knows that Ilvan doesn't have it, but it wouldn't even be that relevant if she did. So, how much is Ariana putting in then? Just going to limp 2 in. So she's going to commit herself to tier 3 and winning the conflict here. But Tessie is prepping up for Highliner. Which means, I guess she's not expediting, but you kind of have to expedite. Whoa, and look at this. Ariana puts in 4. She's looking to use economic positioning to retreat here. The problem is she's at risk of secret stealing. So Michael's getting himself in a bit of fun and games here. The problem is he's concerned about the fact his garrison is going to be absolutely loaded. 2's kind of a weird number, but okay. Ariana's also got to make sure she finds her way to the Talaxu point as well, which she does not have. She's not there yet. Tessia will get a couple of points. Tessie's going to be feeling fairly good. If she can find Highlander access, she's going to feel pretty good for getting at least 2nd place. But we'll see what happens. Yep. Just taking the point, calling it a day. She's hoping that maybe there's a world she gets calculated higher next round as well. It's not likely, but it's potential. But it looks like Elessar, Elessar knows he's just got to play for 2nd place here. Like, the game is... The match is over. So, Hunjo with 7. Worm Riders, power play. I think power play might not be a bad move, but it's got to get the secrets. But it's just a straight point. Maybe even Fremen defense. Like, I think power play would be the card I'd want to take here. Fufi is nice, but you know the game's only going 1 round. You need something with shock impact. To me, it's power play. Lady J turns up in the row. Wow. Well, Ariana has 9. But she might buy it for the Fremen bump. Doesn't opt to do so. She's going to rip the row, though, and get rid of it. It's weird, because she's the last person to reveal. There's no one to protect from. But that wild bump is kind of scary. You don't have to rip it. But I think she will consider ripping it later. I expect we'll see Michael rip it like... She'll do an action, then rip it like, say, her 2nd agent turn. She'll rip it. It's coming. So here we go then. So is Ariana just going to sit with loads of intrigues? Looks like it. Tessia Vernius will do nothing. She might ambush. But I think you got to keep those swords for next round. Yep, nothing to be done here. So, battle is resolved. Load of resources for Hundro. Spice, water. 2 more intrigues. And he gets a wild bump, which I assume he's got to take the spacing for the point. He does. Oh, it's a bit awkward for him. Private army found for Ariana. So, more combat coming here. Tessia and Ariana are going to be battling to the death here. Has to take the water. I have to tell him it's mandatory. So here we go then. Ilban finds TM again. Ilban's just going to feel he's just going to score like a point or 2 points and he's good. He's got a backup point with Holtzman. He's just got to make sure this is the final round. Imperial Basin is the conflict here, which I don't think he's that unhappy to see. Talaxian Master cannot be used for Jessica, should be noted. Slightly out the price range, but one of the only cards that he can't get hold of. He's thinking of getting Worm Riders for +2 swords, but really, I think Ilban should just mint out of his Signet Ring, and, you know, just gather points. You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 persuasion. Talaxian Master's going to draw you 2. Yeah, I would just grab Mentat with Signet Ring and just, you know, play boring and just get the job done. The problem is he drew no faction access, so he can't even ambush the Bene Gesserit yet, which is he's slightly annoyed about. I think he was looking for secret access to steal from Ariana and steal from Hundro. Tessia Vernis is going secrets, by the way, 100%. So I suspect... Oh, he does play TM. So he's taking the faction access because he didn't pull any, which I think's fine. Tezia bonus is going secrets. It's 4 intrigue she's gaining. Hyliana's in no danger. Yep. So pretty standard stuff this. See what gets lost. So Tezia gains... She gains... Oh my god. She gains Disguised Bureaucrat, which isn't usable. She gains Alan, which definitely is. This is absolutely ridiculous. What gets stolen? Poison Snooper, lost for Ariana. She can live with that. She'll think that's a pretty decent result. Rapid Mobilization lost for from Hundro, which isn't a big deal for either of them. I mean, it's not ideal for Hundro. I think Hundro was considering maybe like finding his way to Emperor, but it's not a disaster that he's lost that. It's not a disaster for Tezia either. Like, these troops are going in, so it's not offering her any assistance. I think Hundro could have lost worse. Hundro has to power play selective breeding, surely, here, you would imagine. But the Fremen's kind of scary. He also wants to get a research station. But he has his specimen for the final Talaxu point, so it's not that imperative. Tezio is going to be slightly concerned of being stolen, but we'll see. So Snoops finds the recon. I think it's fine. There's nothing else she can use. Disguised Bureaucrat is not usable currently. She has not got enough in research done, so it is just a totally blank card in the hand. So Hundro has to either Diplo or power play. And I think you've just got to power play selective breeding here. It's a point. It's just a solid point. You've just got to score as many points as possible here and try and hope that green doesn't win the conflict. The two are going to go to absolute war here. I don't know who's going to win it. I think Tezia's got the advantage. But we shall see. Ariana's got kind of split thoughts here. Like, she kind of figures, well, if I buy Spice Must Flow, it's 2 points. I wonder if Ariana might consider pivoting away, but she has no money for High Council. So, probably not. But she could get rid of Expedite. Interesting. She still needs to go Hardy Warriors as well to secure... She needs to hit the Fremen to get that point. But she also wants to go Bene Gesserit. But the problem is if she selective breeds... she can Expedite and cash in a selective breed. She can do both. Opt for Research Station does Hundro. I didn't really like it. I get why you did it, but... doesn't feel too great for me. I feel like there were better moves. So Ariana will Hardy Warrior first, I think. No, she does selective, so she is going to jump Tezia at this alliance here. Chom Shares is found. I think if I'm Ariana, I literally trash my Diplo. I wouldn't even trash the dagger, I'd keep it. This is fun around. Like, trash Diplo. You're never going to need it again. So, I assume Expedite is getting played here. Chom Shares... Oh, wow. I don't think she can actually get it. She doesn't play Expedite! Oh, my God. Well, I guess the argument is, how can Ariana get a bump? And the answer is she can't. All sorts of madness here. Ilbar now knows he can't ever get this... there's no way he's getting the Fremen Alliance. It's gone. So what does he do here? He's just going to go forward space and draw cards. I don't know what he was looking for. Ilbon doesn't really have anything to do. Ilbon's just here to just buy Spice Must Flow and call it a day, basically. He's got nothing else to do here. Probably the most uninteresting round 7 you're ever going to see here for him. So Tezia cannot secure this alliance, and she must feel it's in grave danger. She could ship in an attempt to block, but, you know, is that really going to work? You're reliant on Red then going smuggling. Which, to be fair, Red might do, given the fact they went Research Station. It's a weird one. Tezia still, in theory, wants to get her Emperor Snooper going as well, but I think at this point it's probably gone. Tesia might feel that she's going to lose the alliance. What I think might be not a bad idea, maybe, is for Tesia to, like, consider, like, highlighting. And the problem is, though, is, like, your signaling is just not doing anything. There's no way for you to get 2 Emperor bumps at this point. It's just not on. I wonder if Hundro might be considering buying Jessica here for a bump. I don't know. What is this? Spaceport? No, it's just gonna just hard buy flagships. So the money's coming. I think this probably is better, given the fact that you don't want to see your guild admin right now, though. Or the guild ambassador, I should say, and doesn't. So I think this is fine. Yeah, point to points. Guarantee 1. You're going to send some troops in flagships, but it's not looking like you're going to win this. The problem is you need the spice for Allied Armada. So I guess you're going like Haga Basin or Great Flat to pay for Allied Armada. Looks like that's what's going to be going on here. So Ariana looking more likely to win this now. Neither player realizes how many swords the other person's got in hand over. There's loads of them. Hundro's up. I think you've just got to go Fremen now. You've got to get in front of this alliance. I actually don't hate going still suits here and then hoping that you can power play wealth. And just score 2 points. And if you do that, you've only got 6 persuasion. Hundro is eyeing up early revealing to buy Jessica to get the Fremen point or something crazy. There's some weird stuff being plotted here. But he's got his signet ring. Surely he's got to use it. And inside the shipping is still there. And he might experiment for it. And I think that's what's going on here. Because he can turn this... Oh, but if he does this, he has to bump up and take the beetle. Otherwise he loses his Talaxu point. That's the only issue with this. Oh, he's going to hope to get lucky on Spaceport here. And hope to draw his other experimentation. This is a gamble. He might not find it. Does he get lucky here? He does. Huge result. So he can now take the influence bump. It's a massive result for Hundro. That is just like a bonus point, basically, he's drawn there. Good grief. No Spice Must Flow incoming, though. Only 7. So that'll be the Fremen bump. So he's eyeing up going wealth, I imagine, with like power play and maybe even using quid pro quo for extra protection. I think's what's being considered. Ariana's got to open the taps now. I think Ariana's going to go... I assume she's going Carthag. But where on earth is she taking this influence bump, though? That's the only issue here. Where is she going to take this influence bump off the expedite? Fremen is a point. She has to go Bene Gesserit, though, to surely deny Tesia. Oh, she goes Haga Basin! Because she's got to pay for spice. So they're both in the same spot here. So here comes Expedite. Surely he's got to take the Bene Gesserit bump here. It's the only logical thing that makes any lick of sense. And does. So point transfer there. Keeping Ariana in touch. Did she already draw a card? Did you not already draw that for Benny Initiate? I don't know, I could be wrong. Oh, right, harvesting. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I forgot. So whenever Ariana harvests, she draws a card automatically. It's how often I see Ariana getting played. So she's taking the money. I think what Ariana is considering... I don't know what Ariana's considering here. She's eyeing up high counts. She can put in 5. She's got 10 swords coming. Plus the one in her hand. Is she eyeing up wealth to pay for Charon shares? I think she might. Ilban's just going to throw in whatever. He's won this match. Tezia's up. So where does Tezia go here? She's put herself in a bit of a spot now. If you want any intention of winning this fight, it's Hardy Warriors, right? There's no way you can get hold of this Emperor bump. It's just lost. You have to try and win the fight, right? But she has to mine. Oh, she doesn't get Allied Armada. I think Elessar's made a bit of a meal of this. Alright, he doesn't realise that Ariana's sitting there with 10 swords as well, but so are you. I mean, Great Flat is just, like, 2 garrison, 3 flagship. And then you think you've got 11 swords behind you, 12 swords behind you. You'd think you're good. But Ariana has one more action. And that's pretty uncomfortable. He's trying to do the maths here and working out if he can win. But the alternative is, well, if he can't win, what's his next best move? Like, what else at this point could Tezia Vernius do? And to be honest, I don't think there is anything. I think it's just experimentation. Great Flat. I don't think there's any other move here. And you just got to ship it in and hope you win this. Well, this is looking very dicey now for Tezia. She's in trouble. He also feels he's got his signet ring, so he doesn't have to deploy, but he needs spice. That's the only thing that's the problem here. There's other things he'd like to do, but he desperately needs spice to pay for Allied Armada, so his hand is forced here. He kind of doesn't want to do this in a way, but there's much to do. He's going to take the specimen, because he feels he doesn't really need the money. So, in they go. And this just ends however it ends, basically. Be what may. I think at this exact moment, Tezia feels pretty good about this. But so Hundro surely just hits wealth and just takes a point here, right? I don't see what else you've got. Yeah, you just got to go wealth, take the double bump. So that's 7 points. Experimentation gets you the 8 points. And, you know, maybe he's hoping to pick up Lady Jessica and pick up a Bene Gesserit point. He's hoping he's going to get to that, but unfortunately, he's never going to get... Tezia should just rip the row before he reveals. Ilban's got, I don't know how much persuasion. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. He can buy spice. He might bite Jessica to get hold of the fold space point, which might actually be a slightly better move. I don't think it's really relevant at this point. We know he's won this game, so... So Ariana has one more action. I think she had considerations of going wealth, but she can't do it anymore. So Chome shares is no good, so she's basically forced to fight now. I think the only logical move is Arrakis or Siege. Yeah, you can't get to Conspire. What? Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. Didn't see that it's gone. Just didn't expect wealth to be taken. I was going to say, yeah. So you just have to fight. There's nothing to do. You've got to win this conflict. You've got to... 2, 3, 6, 8. You have to hit Arrakis and hope you draw either your other liaison or your other convincing argument and get to 9 and buy spice. It's 2 points. But Ariana doesn't want to take the risk. She's at 8 now. She's thinking, I can just go High Council and get 2 points from my Spice Must Flow. But then the combat's in jeopardy. You've got 10 swords. Is 20 strength good enough? It's debatable. Tezia's sitting there with a lot of intrigues. The problem is, if you do this and you're wrong, like, you're basically committing yourself to High Council. It's a gamble. It's a huge gamble, this. But she goes for it. What is this move? She's gonna do it this way, is she? But then she doesn't have the spice for Private Army. She can't do this. So it's High Council. Tezia's just going to take her 2 guaranteed points and hope that she's good on spice for the conflict. And good on swords. But the answer is she's not. I totally understand why she's doing this. You'd hope that 10 swords is good, and to be honest, a lot of the time 10 swords is good. But Tezia's sitting there with 6 intrigues. It could be all sorts of stuff. This is more speculative than everything. She's going to use the Signet Ring to do it instead. Because she is good for the spice here, so +1 dagger, but it's not going to make any particular difference here. Tezia Vernis is going to scramble her way to 2nd place here. Now, does Ilban buy the Jessica here? I'd like to see her buy Jessica. Sell the spice. And does, yep. So, let's say the game is well over at this point. So Tezia Vernis is going to win this with Allied Armada and Ambush. Green's going to feel a little bit hard done by here, I suspect, and I totally understand that. I totally understand feeling a little bit hard done by with how this is about to go down, but it was... I guess it was Green's gamble to take. I mean, I guess the argument is, do you take the guaranteed 2 points and, like, hope you find your way to 2 more? Or do you risk it for 2 points to deny blue? It's kind of a weird spot, I guess. I don't really see what else you can really do. She can use Rapid Mobilization to get this extra troop in as well, as a bonus. And she's going to use this for troops as well, so, you know. I guess, ultimately, Ariana made the right choice. She'll see that and think, wow. And thinks, actually, I did make the right choice. So, in that sense, it did. But it's difficult, though. Like, you feel compelled to get troops in and go for it, but managed to find a way not to, I suppose. So, Ilban's going to win this match. Tezia's going to take this conflict down and is going to take 2nd place and finish at 9, which is not going to get surpassed. Hundro is stranded at 7. It's been a tough game, this, for Hundro. Like, there isn't really much he could have done. But he's going to get to 8, actually. My apologies. It's been a real tough game for Hundro, this. There's not much he could really have done in this situation. I think he played pretty decently, given all the madness that's happened ahead of him. And 8's going to be good enough here for a couple of points. And Michael just got kind of put into a couple of pretty ugly, almost impossible positions. Hundro just kind of trying to find any resources. Trying to find anything he can. Might as well with Spaceport. Nothing else to be found. So, I think Toast will take the 2 points. You know, when you've won 2 games from 2, I think you feel happy enough to score 2 points here. It's not ideal, but you're still in good shape for qualifying. You'd still feel yourself pretty decent odds for making top 2. Like, I don't hate it at all. Ariana will get the spice. So she's going to finish at 8. Oh no, she's going to beat Hundro on spice. Ugh. Brutal. So. Hundro's just going to only tie Ilban. Feels terrible. What are you gonna do? So Ariana can afford to just chuck everything at this. She's trying to work out if she private armies. I mean, to be fair, like, you just have to private army. And Tezzy is good, so... Ariana should just play both and call it a day, to be honest. Like, you can just play intrigues back-to-back. Like, you might as well just play them all. If you're playing one, you're playing two, most certainly, so... Alas. So, Alad Armada comes... And that will secure Tezia third place. A bit of messing around here is what's going on. Everyone just kind of, is what it is. I think everyone's happy now. So Echelon will be played because might as well just to get some money. And that will be everything told and we're all done. So, Ilban wins. Not a very... Well, I mean, not a particularly exciting game for Ilban, truthfully, but it's the way they go sometimes. Tezzy secures second place. And Ariana is going to steal third place courtesy of Corner and finding the spice at the end. Like, I totally get the direction she took, but it was, it was all kinds of awkward. Which means Toast will have to just live with the point. Tough game for Red. Given the situation, like, what do you do here? The answer is not a whole lot. Oh no, Green isn't going to see. Green only gets 1 point for calling the market. No, misread that. Sorry. So Ilban's going to win this at 11. Not a particularly fascinating game. Sometimes they aren't. You just, things get given to you, and it is what it is. Tezzy holds on for second place, which I think Elessar will be pretty happy with. Green will just about hold on to third. With the Slaxer point at the end. He'll be happy with the 2 points. Michael finds himself with the 1 point. Kind of unfortunate. It was a tough game for both Red and Green. Like, really difficult situations they kind of got themselves put into. I don't even think either of them played that badly either. Just Yellow found everything, like, immediately and was just off to the races, unfortunately. Like, what you're going to do, so... It's the way it goes sometimes. It's the way it goes.
There was like something about your hesitation that made me think they were both really juicy, and so that's why I decided to try this out.
Yeah,
and I ended up never even using this.
Yeah, no, they're both pretty sucky. That's why I was like, I don't know.
The immediate secret strip this is.
Yep.
Dude, you still wrap it at the end, which pissed me off. I thought I could maybe get second if it was like a VP for second place, but because I had the power play move all planned out, I was gonna wrap it in. And then Technogosh came up, and I'm like, oh, handy. But then, worked in your favor.
Yeah, it was a good one for me.
It was the only good intrigue I had.
Won you the game. I won you that combat. Pretty much. Because I was going with my 10 extra swords and stuff. Like, I think I would have won if you weren't able to get the 6 extra swords from those 3 troops you sent in, right? So I was
Yep, you definitely would have won that, I think. Or it would have been close at least.
Yeah. Dang, because that's what it pretty much was for me. Was like, all right, I need to get second somehow. I need to steal his alliance, and I need to win the combat for me to get second. And so that's why I was like, okay, I got to figure out. Maybe I can do like Chome shares and Spice Must Flow or something, and try to win the combat. But all the spaces pretty much got blocked up real fast, and I was like, okay, shoot, where do I go?
Yeah, when I was literally betting on blue, he's like, he's either going to go Highliner or he's going to take Flagship. And I'm like, okay, I got first dibs, so I take Flagship now. What the frick do I do? It was such a gamble. Because I thought you would take Highliner, but honestly, Flagship was the right play. I thought you were being a little greedy, but I'm like, oh, dang, you got a lot of intrigue. So pulled it off anyways.
The bump
it was a good
doesn't
move.
Do anything for me. And like, this is a point, so.
Yeah, I just figured like, if you win Flagship, you're playing a little risky in terms of combat, but like it ended up being fine because you had so many good intrigues, so you didn't really need highliner.
Oh yeah, I had Allied Armada, which gave me maybe more confidence than I merited, but
Yeah, it worked out. That's what I was looking to grab, the flagship and the power play bump, and just scrape together anything I could. But
anything on your end, BlackShadow?
I mean, it was, I think a lot of the game kind of played itself, truthfully. Especially it became very clear early on. It was basically a scrap for second, really, which is the way it goes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than my Dreadnought getting in there like once in a while, I felt like I was playing solitaire.
Pretty much. Like I'll be honest, like I did not provide much commentary for you. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't. Yeah, you just for like round 4, it's basically just auto play for you. So it's the way it goes. Sometimes it just draws out as that. So I think it was tough for red and green this game. Like it was just you kind of both got into really. I don't think you really did much wrong. But I think both of you just found yourselves in like really unenviable positions here because of what was going on with blue and yellow very early on. It was just like it was really, really difficult for you. Blue obviously getting Guild Ambassador just like immediately pulling everything for the spacing lines. I mean, maxing out spacing like not even in 4 rounds is like absurd.
I know. I was just like, well, I guess I can't try to race him for this.
No, no, you had to try, but immediately he just drew everything. That's the way it goes sometimes. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's rough. Good game, y'all.
Yeah, good game, everyone.
Game.
Great job, Yellow.
GG's.
So here's a look at the table after that match. Command Toast will retain his top spot. We'll still feel pretty happy with things, with 12 from 3 with a couple of wins. Toast still definitely a favourite for making it through to the quarterfinals directly. But it's going to have to be a little bit cautious. He's still going to need to pick up probably at least a couple of points in his final match. If he comes last in that, 13 so looks a bit dicey. Zach Shalak is still there, and although he's behind on the win tie breaks, could still pip him with a victory. So Toast not home and dry by any stretch. Elessar will be pretty happy with the second place. I mean, in this sort of game, I think it's the best you can physically do here, so I think he'd be pretty happy with that. Soul Cancel's win here gets himself back into mid-tail contention, remedying the loss in the 4th place, which he also played against Elessar, should be noted as well. And Yourmichael, with just the 1 point from this game, pretty unlucky. I think Michael, I think he honestly played all right. I think he made a couple of wise choices here and there, but was just faced with pretty horrendous odds. You could argue maybe he should have just not picked Ariana, maybe might have found a point out of that, but there wasn't really much more else to claim, I don't think, in this game. Did the best he could, so the pressure's on to try and win on his remaining 2 matches. Yeah, just kind of a weird sort of game. Just kind of let the players talk about it, really. I didn't have too much particularly interject. Ilbalm, within like 3 rounds, was basically just set up to just win the game, and did. Didn't really have to interact in any way, and as we put it, playing solitaire, and that's exactly what it is. That's all he had to do there. So it was really just a battle for second place, and Tezia managing to get through the last round and winning the combat maybe made it a little bit more uncomfortable than perhaps needed to, but managing to get over the line nonetheless. Once you find out Armada, you're feeling pretty good there as well. I feel a little bit unlucky to have only found the 1 point from the Guild Ambassador. Didn't draw it this round. And obviously that's a little bit unfortunate, but I think second place would be pretty happy with that as well. But yeah, tough game for red and green. Really unenviable spots for both of them there. Not really much to be done. That's just kind of how the game occasionally goes. Like when you find Tezia and Ilbar and they get upset with the way they do so quickly, it's really hard to come back and make much of it. So tough games for them. But I think Toast will feel happy enough to at least get a second point out of this one. Let's go do it for us for this match here. So you guys have enjoyed. It's been a good game. Glad I covered it, even if it was a curious one. We of course have plenty more coverage coming from the group stages as well. Obviously, groups are now starting to come towards the close of action as well. So we're trying to cover as many games as we can from the last match or 2 from the groups. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves. See you all in the next conflict.